Okay, look, guys, I really want to make this video because it's been kind of bothering me for a long time now, and this is what really pisses me off. I mean, seriously, and people are so hypocritical, and it kind of gets on my nerves pretty damn much. Okay, so you know how different takes, right? And I'm pretty sure I did like two tweets, which the second tweet was part of that very first tweet, which is basically like me just saying like, why is it that we freaking like despise different takes or different, you know, like different ways we can see other series. And this is what really ticks me off, and people are so damn hypocritical. You know how many takes of Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, just about any superhero, thing, really. I mean, superheroes are a really big thing nowadays, but even as moviegoers, we have seen different versions of these characters. And yes, we can definitely say that the MCU movie characters are probably the best ones that we've seen on the big screen. More than likely, I mean, come on, let's be honest here. Robert Downey Jr. killed it as Tony Stark. Chris Evans nailed it as freaking Captain America. Freaking Tom Holland, like, I freaking love him as Spider-Man. Even though I really love Tobey Maguire as freaking Spider-Man, like, he's just awesome. But I gotta admit, like there are some different takes that we all know and love. But here's the hypocritical part, and this really pisses me off, is when there are different other takes. Like, to say, like someone is trying to do another take on a well-established series. It's like people get like so pissed at it because of how different it is. That is bullshit, and I hate it. And I'm mainly putting the blame on the anime community. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love the anime community. I mean, I think there's some really cool ass people in the damn community. But here is a problem that I really do not like about, like, just makes people look hypocritical. Also, so superheroes get a fucking, pat on the back for trying to be, having different storylines, and making shit, pretty different or some shit like that. I mean, look at that. I mean, look at Telltale's Batman series. It focuses a lot more on Bruce Wayne than Batman because it's supposed to be, focusing on the man behind the mask, because you are Bruce Wayne. That is Batman, which I really liked about the Batman games by Telltale. And plus it did a different take on Bruce's parents. It did a different take on Joker. And it just did a different take on certain characters. I'm definitely talking about. I'm definitely talking about what was that bitch's name? She was a reporter. Vicky Vale. They did a different take on Vicky Vale that was so surprising. I was like, yo, she's such a great character in this game. I love that new take on Vicky Vale. It just made her like a really cool character, and I feel like that version of her character could become a new thing. So I really want to see more of that shit. Which is one of the reasons why I do like new takes, is that they introduce characters the way that they could be different and introduce new elements that could be explored much later and make things a lot more interesting. Which is what I really like about these type of new takes, and it's what I really love about them. And the reason why I'm bringing up the anime community, a lot, basically, is because of this specific version of a well-acclaimed anime for its time. Ever since, the manga adaptation, the entire manga adaptation, animation of the based on the manga came out, people were shitting all over that series because of how different it was, because Brotherhood's a quote-unquote superior version. Look, I don't think both of them are like neither superior. I think both of them are good. And what I'm talking about is obviously Fullmetal Alchemist 2003. I love this series, and people will definitely say this is definitely one of the best animes of all time. But ever since Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood came out, it seems like Brotherhood has taken its place, and people are shitting all over it, all because it does so many different things, and and it pissed people off, especially the ending, and definitely the Conqueror Shambhala movie, which, gonna be completely honest here, I do not blame people for the Conqueror Shambhala movie. I mean, I don't think it was all bad, but the ending was trash. Let's be honest here. The ending was trash, and it made the movie completely pointless. But all I'm saying here is that Fullmetal Alchemist 03, which by the way is the series that got me into Fullmetal Alchemist, because, you know, it was the very first, you know, series. This series, man, I don't understand why people hate this. I really don't, because it is so well written, well thought out, and I love the development and the amount of shit that Edward Elric has to go through. Like, yeah, Edward does go through a lot of shit in Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood, but it's his mental state that is tested throughout this series, and it fucking works so well. I mean, yeah, he may go a bit crazy. I mean, a bit here and there where he kind of loses it, but his mental state is like so tested so many times, and to the point where he just cannot do anything at times, and you believe it because this dude is still a fucking kid. He's still a teenager. He's still going through some shit, and you would think that after the shit that he and his brother kind of went through was already enough. The shit that they go through in 03, it just fucks him up. It really does. Now, I'm not gonna lie, the 03 series did try to follow the storyline of the manga, but it just kept on, you know, getting in there. And I feel like, and yes, there are quote-unquote filler episodes in this series, but this is like necessary filler that actually adds character development and all that good stuff while it was still trying to follow the original story. And that's just what I love about this, is that it adds something new to the original story. I mean, just because the original story was amazing and great, we want to see an anime adaptation of it, does not mean that it was exactly perfect. I always thought about this. Like, you know how people always bash on the Naruto fillers? I always kind of give them a chance to give, like, some characters that weren't given a lot of screen time or all that shit in the manga. You know how in the Naruto manga where people were complaining that certain characters kind of gotten very much useless by the time, by like part 2 and much later on during the war, which we wish they could have had much more screen time or have some important development. Yeah, that didn't quite happen. That's what I was always hoping for in fillers. Like, yes, there have been fillers that actually added something new to the story, like with certain characters, like what happened with these characters, like what was their backstory, how did they get like this? Like that Kyrene episode during, like, right around the end of the series, I actually really liked that one because it added something new to her character, and that wasn't even explored in the original material. Because let's be honest here, in the original manga, she was just there for Sasuke. Let's be honest here. But that episode right there, it just kind of had a bit of meaning to her character, just a bit, and it's better than nothing. And again, like I said, filler does not always mean it's quote-unquote non-canon because it's not the original story. Like, come on, you motherfuckers. They're trying to add in some new to give some of these characters purpose. Some of them. Studio Period apparently overused the shit out of that. And it so pains me when people say that filler is no canon or bullshit like that. You can take it whatever you want, but still, like, but anyway, guys, now, I'm not trying to defend filler, okay? Some filler just feel really unnecessary, just a pat at the time. But some kind of feel like kind of necessary, just a bit, just to give off time, or see like what someone else is doing, or just have the characters have fun for like a while after some shit happens. Like, there's all kinds of filler that do feel like it's kind of supposed to be there, and it makes sense. But there's some filler that just come out of nowhere, like Bleach, where it just suddenly stops, like bloop, bloop. I'm telling you, Bleach did this shit a lot. and definitely in the Iraq arc, like, bruh. But anyway, guys, like, I really just want to say that this is something that's been really bothering me. And look, just because a different interpretation of a character is different does not mean it's bad. It always depends on like how well written they are. Now, if they're just crazy, blah blah blah, but if you give them like an actual good reason, like let's say Vicky Vale from like a good reason like why like this character's like that. Like look at Vicky Vale from the Batman Telltale game series back in season 1. She had a really good and surprisingly dark reason for being the way that she is. And I really like that. Again, I really like that take on Vicky Vale from Batman. And excuse me. And another example is John Doe, also known as the Joker, as people are definitely gonna be calling him that, and shit. But to be honest with you guys, I feel like John Doe is probably the best version of the Joker in my personal opinion, because he's just a guy. You know, like, he's just a guy that is slowly becoming a bit more unstable. I mean, he's already unstable already. You kind of see that insane side of him. Like the dude finds it fascinating when someone just gets punched right in the fucking face or some shit. He's up there, like he's unstable. But it's how he becomes a Joker that's really impactful. And it's like, there are two different types of Joker in the Batman game in season 2, but which versions you take is very interesting. And it's like even if the villain Joker that you choose for episode 5 is really like, it's still the Joker that we all know and love, but Telltale still writes him like an actual person. He isn't like full on crazy. He still has some humanity left in him, low key. You know, how Telltale wrote that was well done. Best Joker that I've seen on screen since, like, I've seen some of Heath Ledger. Like, I haven't seen Dark Knight, to be honest with you guys. I know I really need to. But I think since, I would have to say Mark Hamill's version of the Joker. I mean, and before that, though, you know, in the Arkham games, it'd be Jack Nicholson. That motherfucker nailed it as a Joker. But other than that, I really enjoyed it that much. I really enjoyed John Doe that damn much. He was awesome as a Joker, and Batman the Enemy Within is definitely one of Telltale's better games. Hell, probably my favorite out of all Telltale. Possibly, who knows? But let's be honest here, guys. Let's be honest here. If there's a different take on a character, it just all depends on how well written they are. Now, a series can still be great. They still had like some of the elements that they had, while still taking, you know, different directions with certain characters. Again, Full Metal Alchemist 03. They still had some of the elements from the original manga that still made it enjoyable and really good, and still has that alchemy interest in it that's like really interesting. There are different takes on the different and darker takes on alchemy in that, like a few of them, which were like mind-blowingly shocking, especially like halfway through the series. There's a plot twist that happens like right like in the middle of the series. I think it's like right about like a little bit over halfway through when you actually see it, and it's like, holy shit! Like that take on alchemy in Full Metal Alchemist was just mind fucked. But it's still like, there are different takes on certain characters. Some still some like really do like feel the same, but there are different ways that these characters did and stuff. It still felt like a Full Metal Alchemist story, just a darker version, and I loved it. The characters were still the same in Brotherhood, so why did people hate it? Because it deviated from the manga. I feel like that is a bullshit excuse, because it still feels like Full Metal Alchemist. It's just darker, and it does well. It really does it well. So, like I say, would people be mad if like Code Geass took a different direction with like Lelouch or Suzaku's character? I mean nothing like that's like off-putting. But they go to like different developments. How about that? Lelouch is actually not really all that smart of a strategist. He's just like a normal kid that's trying to live out his life with not only while being undercover, just trying to live a normal life because his childhood was pretty much fucked. His childhood is still fucked. Let's say that. His backstory is still the same. But when he gets involved with this rebellion, he wants to change it for the better, get revenge, but he doesn't know how. And the thing is, if Code Geass were to be remade, and that's how it happened, I think it'd be interesting to see how Lelouch becomes this strategist. Some people may have to die due to his mistakes, and if that were to be a remake of Code Geass, like that's how Lelouch's character would go, through like development, that type of development. I think people that kind of hated Code Geass would actually like it. For Lelouch to have that type of development. Some Code Geass purists will fucking hate it because Lelouch is not that smart. But at that point, he's still a teenager trying to learn shit, and I think that would work as a different take on Code Geass. And you know how Suzaku still wants to, like I say, Suzaku still wants to, be part of the military. Like, instead of him keep focusing on that same goal by taking it out from the inside, he starts getting manipulated by all these people. And these manipulations are actually very believable. And you really will not blame Suzaku for doing this, because he had no idea. Because again, the dude's still a kid. He's still trying to figure out what to do. It's what I really like to see. Again, if Code Geass were to be remade just like that, I'd hella watch it. To be honest with you, I would hella watch it. So, and I think it'd be a really interesting take on the series if it ever gets remade like that. So, some part Code Geass purists will fucking, will fucking just will despise it. But if it's done well, in a well-written way, in a way that it can be better than a lot of critics will say, because some people say it's amazing, it's a masterpiece, some say it's alright, some say it's garbage. Who knows what people will say if that ever, if Code Geass ever gets remade like that. And if y'all have any thoughts about this type of idea of a Code Geass remake like that, let me know in the comments, because I would like to hear that. But seriously, if Code Geass still had the same feel with the mechs and the strategies, with just different character, with different character, with different character developments happening, which kind of leads to a different direction into the story, I would actually love to see that. That would be an interesting take on Code Geass. But because of how people are going to be pissed, and because it is different. It's not like Code Geass from back then. Like, what the fuck? And it's like, now if you promise to do a different take on Code Geass that still has the same elements but does a different take on characters, depends on how well written they are. And that is an important part of doing a different take on characters and stories of an established series. The Batman series did that. I mean, seriously, what would people feel like? Seriously, what did people feel when Batman suddenly turned into a dark, gritty comic series? What did people feel like that really enjoyed the comedic aspects of Batman from way back in the day when he first started out with all these characters? Now all these characters are really deep and thought-provoking, all this type of shit now. People that are fans will be mad. And when you think about it, you can't blame them. You really can't. If you always thought that Batman was always like this and had all these different takes, you'd be wrong. To be honest with you, before Batman by Tim Burton, there was a few graphic novels that were pretty damn dark. But when Batman came to mainstream, you know, with Jack Nicholson and Michael Keaton, that was when people were like, oh shit, that's Batman, and that basically, you know, set the standard for like Batman movies to be kind of, you know, well thought out and well made as stories and shit. So yeah, and sorry about the lighting. I very apologize, but that's all I'm really saying, guys. If we were to have different takes on certain characters while still having those elements of what made these series good, I don't think we would, you know, I don't think, you know, any of those series will be bad. I mean, seriously, Full Metal Alchemist 03 did feel like Full Metal Alchemist, but just darker and a couple of their different takes on characters. That's really it. I mean, Hohenheim was definitely dead different from Brotherhood, but I still thought he was a really good character. So, I don't know, guys. I mean, if you guys really think that every anime should be just like the manga, then you guys are just fucking stupid. I mean, seriously, if there's like one slight difference, y'all are fucking idiots. Because an adaptation doesn't always need to be the same thing. The Anime Man had definitely said this a lot during his review on, or you know, his viewpoints on the Death Note live action movie by Netflix. Yes, it was vastly different from the original Death Note movie, from the original Death Note manga and the anime that we all know and love. But the thing is, though, I do gotta admit, they did nail, you know, L till the very end, though, because it just felt out of character, out of nowhere. You know what I'm saying? So they did some things that did, you know, feel like L, but there. And to be honest with you, a new take on Death Note, like having Light, you know, being this kid that is, you know, that someone just gets like the Death Note, isn't really a bad idea. Yes, it was kind of executed kind of poorly, but it was still a pretty interesting take on the Light Yagami character, and I really like to see that development of him becoming that Light that we know and love from the anime. I want to see that type of idea done again. You know, having Light, you know, suddenly transform into this smart character and kind of being corrupted by the Death Note, because it's slowly giving him this, you know, this godlike feel while being, you know, like that. Like, I really want to see that. I really want to see that different take on Light. It was just poorly executed by Netflix. I'm just saying, guys. I'm just saying. This is, now, again, people are just hypocrites, and my thoughts, and these are my thoughts on, quote, different takes of established series. Hope you guys enjoyed this, though. Like the video if y'all enjoyed, subscribe if you want to see more, comment below what y'all think. And if y'all new to the channel, you want to see more, be sure to subscribe for more, and hope you guys enjoyed it. I'll see y'all in the next video. Survivor out.